What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well, having a good Wednesday afternoon. Yes, it's afternoon right now. It's been a busy day so far, but the Manchester United news, content, discussion, all of the above continues because Erik ten Hag has just spoken to the assembled press ahead of Manchester United's game tomorrow. With all of everything that's going on in the transfer window right now, and signings coming in and players going out and transfer deadline day approaching, a match is happening. A match kind of gets lost in all of this, doesn't it? So a match is indeed happening. It's tomorrow, under the lights, Thursday night football at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City versus Manchester United. United looking for 3 victories in a row after the terrible start to the season we had. Gosh, that would be very nice, wouldn't it? It'd be excellent. So we're going to talk about what Erik ten Hag has spoken about in his press conference. As I mentioned, he's just wrapped up talking to the media at Carrington, got asked the questions you would expect Erik ten Hag to be asked about Antony, about Cristiano Ronaldo, about Leicester City, about Martin Dubravka, about could we expect any more business or any more anything in the next 24 hours. So we've spoken about all of that, spoken about tactics, spoken about people who won't be available for tomorrow, one being Anthony Martial. So we're going to get into all of it. We're going to get into his quotes, his questions, his answers. We've also got a couple of fun trailers and clips that I've got planned for today. I come prepared for you guys. We've got everything in store for you. And also, because it's a solo stream, we'll get your comments up on the screen as well, such as Matamu's got the Owen emoji. Yes, you can get your Owen emojis in the chat. You can do so and get those emojis by joining the UV Members Club. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat right now. You get your badges, you get your emojis, such as the Owen emoji. You've got other emojis, such as the KG emoji, the Flex emoji, Marcel's porridge emoji, and more emojis coming soon, it must be said. We've also got a little clip of other fun stuff that you get if you join the UV Members Club. The exclusive members-only content. I've got a trailer for you of this week's episode of Raw because it's just so good. So welcome everyone. Rafa says, yay, finally a live show. Colombia settings, 6:48 a.m. Wow. It always blows my mind where people are watching from all around the world. It's just amazing. Let me know when you're watching around the world. VK says, when are we getting a Josh emoji? I've said this. I've said that I want a Josh emoji. I've said it to Josh himself. I said I want the Just Josh logo in there. That's what I want. It's like with the headphones and all that. That's what I want. I want that on there. So hopefully that will come in the future because then we can put that in the chat because he deserves it. He deserves all the emojis, does Josh. Let's get straight into the questions then. Erik ten Hag was talking, as I mentioned, to the assembled media and press ahead of tomorrow's game against Leicester at the King Power Stadium. And the first question was from Simon Stone and he said, Eric, no, I'm going to be nice to Simon today. He said, can you explain the situation with Antony? Why is that a good deal for Manchester United? What do you see in him? What does he bring to the side? What does he bring to Manchester United? And Erik ten Hag, as you would expect, was very cagey about this. Not KG, C-A-G-E-Y. Not KG the guy, KG. You get my point. He said, quote, there is an agreement between the clubs, but the paperwork is not done, so I cannot go deep. We still need to strengthen the offensive department because we have many games to cover. So essentially he was saying, look, obviously I can talk broadly, and I will talk broadly, and this is talking broadly for Erik ten Hag. I can talk about that, about Antony, because it's been announced that there is obviously a broad agreement between the two clubs, between Manchester United and Ajax, but the deal isn't official yet. It's not completely confirmed. Just an agreement in principle has been announced and subject to medical, which he has completed, subject to international clearance and visa, which I believe he hasn't got just yet. So that is all coming in the future. All of that good stuff is coming in the future. But as of right now, Antony is not yet a Manchester United player. So I guess legally there's certain aspects that he can't talk about or he won't talk about. It's at the weird stage, isn't it? Because previously Ten Hag will say, I don't want to talk about players that are under contracts to other club. Well, is he still technically under contract to Ajax? I don't know. We're in this weird grey area at the moment. But as he mentions, this was quite interesting about the follow-up question part of this, because he spoke about Antony. He said, look, I can't go too deep, but we still need to strengthen in the offensive department because we have many games to cover, which is interesting for him to say, because he is saying that, but he's also saying just a couple of questions later, we're not going to be bringing in anyone else as far as he's aware. He said, you have to stay aware, and if something falls into your lap, essentially, if something happens or someone becomes available, a club of the size of Manchester United should always be ready to do business and should always be ready to pounce if a good opportunity becomes available. But as of right now, he thinks that that's going to be it when it comes to Manchester United's business. But he's also still saying, we still need to strengthen in that department. We still need more. So that's quite interesting for what to expect in the future, certainly. Now, the follow-up question was, would he hopefully fill a position that is important to you? And again, Ten Hag kind of doubled down on what he was just talking about. He said the offensive department, we still need to strengthen. We've got many games to cover this season. And he raised a good point here, and we were actually talking about it, I think it was off camera earlier today, that we're at a point now, certainly in the month of September, where it's 3 games essentially per week, or certainly Thursday, Sunday going forward. At this stage, prior to the World Cup, we're at a stage where, bar that international break that you have at the end of September, it's Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, and then coming back after the World Cup, it's midweek games all over again. So to his point, he was saying we're now on 3 games per week. As you know, from offensive players, they can fatigue quicker. They have to run more. We expect them to run more. That we expect that in the style of play that we demand from the players. Therefore, we need numbers. We need players in there because we're going to have to rotate. If you're going to play games or 3 games a week, you can't play the same front 3 every single game. You just can't. So we need players in that offensive department. And even really with the signing of an Antony, we're still light. We're still light in quality. Heaven forbid something happens to him. Imagine something happens to Antony. We're in the same position that we are now, whereby, we don't really truly have a true right winger who's left-footed and can cut inside. That's the issue that we have. So I do agree with Ten Hag. We still do need a lot more strength and depth in those attacking areas, particularly in the striking department, right? It looks likely that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to stay now with 24 hours to go. Anything's still possible, of course, as I spoke about this morning. But it looks like he's going to be staying. But we're still light. We're still light in those attacking areas. And there will come a point, I fear, this season where, due to injuries, fatigue, suspensions, whatever, where we're going to have to get back to the situation where it's like square pegs and round holes. We now have a starting 11 that is well balanced, in my opinion, but it's just a starting 11. Once we do have to start relying on some of these, peripheral players that maybe aren't good enough, that we're maybe happier out of the starting 11 right now, it's just... It's not going to be enough, I don't think, for Manchester United, I don't feel. And that's kind of what he's saying there. He says that we still need numbers there, but he emphasised once again, it's quality, not quantity. But at this stage of the window, and a lot of top quality out there, it's kind of players that you bring in because you need bodies, you need people, you need quantity, and that's kind of at the stage we're at right now. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. We've got over 400 people watching, so we can get 400 likes. No, we can get like if you wish. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to pressure you today. Like if you want. So be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Next question was, again, continued. I think it was still from Simon Stone. These press conferences are kind of different under Erik ten Hag, it must be said. One, they're really short and sharp. They last like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. And a lot of the journalists get to ask one question, a follow-up, and then sometimes a follow-up to the follow-up, which is quite interesting. Because in the past, it used to be just one question only, move on. Now that the journalists are back there in person, you kind of have a bit more... there's a bit more of a follow-up, and you can get a bit more of dialogue going back and forth. It can be a bit wooden when it comes to all of those, those Zoom press conferences that they had, because it has to be question, move on. You can't really push back, which you can kind of do with the in-person press conferences. But the next question was about Martin Dubravka. It was asked if Martin Dubravka is likely to sign. If that is done, will that be it for the summer? And this is what Ten Hag had to say, quote, I think for this window would be the end. Obviously signing Antony and Dubravka. But when there is a great opportunity, you always have to be alert at this top club. Essentially saying he thinks so. He thinks that Martin Dubravka and Antony will mark the end of Manchester United's spending or recruitment this summer. Of course, 24 hours left, anything's possible. We know the chaos and the madness that is deadline day. a deal could become available, or a player or a club, something could happen, something could blow up, and then they say, okay, we've got to do something. Or a player, suddenly you get a phone call from an agent, he's available actually, can we do something? And then this player gets moved to here and all that kind of stuff. We spoke this morning about Serginho Dest. You're the Dest! Better than... I've got to get it out because I don't think we're going to sign him. So, and some other puns. I forget who put it in the comments. It was brilliant. Said the Dest there was, the Dest that... the best there ever will be. It's a Bret Hart reference. Dun, 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 dun. Brilliant. I'm not going to be able to use that at all. It's like Benjamin Šeško. It's like Benjamin Šeško all over again. I can't, you know... I learn these people's names. I get excited about the puns. We can never use them again. It's a shame. The Dest there is, the Dest there was, the Dest there ever will be, and that's great for me because that's a bit of wrestling as well. It's my two favourite things merged together: Manchester United and wrestling. You can check out my channel at Owen Wrestle News 365. Be sure to check it out. We've got some watch-alongs coming this weekend as well. 2 big events, so I'm going to be live twice. So be sure to check it out. Where was I? Oh, Martin Dubravka, yeah. The window, it looks like that's going to be it for Manchester United in this transfer window, which as a whole, as I've said before, how we got here was not particularly great. Have we overspent massively? Have we done things too slow? Yes. Did it cost us for our first 2 games of the season? Absolutely. But on the whole, in general, have Manchester United done well? Yes, I do think we have done well in this window, but we still need more, as Erik ten Hag would say. And of course, we are still waiting for Martin Dubravka and Antony to be announced officially. Even though the Antony one has kind of been announced, Martin Dubravka, we haven't actually heard anything from the club from their point of view as well. So yes, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. There you go. Austin Baker says Wrestle News 365. That's the one. Be sure to check it out. Ed T, Clash of the Castle. Can't wait. Yes, first UK stadium show in 30 years. Be sure to join me this weekend for that. What am I moving on to next? Before we get to the next question, which is about Cristiano Ronaldo, I do want to give a bit of a plug, a bit of a trailer here. You're going to have to indulge me here, folks. As I spoke about before, the UV Members Club. You can join the UV Members Club by clicking the link in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat too. You get your badges, you get your emojis, and you also get your exclusive members-only content, such as UV Raw. Now, if you haven't seen UV Raw, or you're not a member of the UV Members Club, we're going to give you a bit of a sneak peek at what UV Raw is. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the day-to-day operations of United View. It's a bit like The Office, I guess. It's raw, it's uncut, it's unedited. You can see the chaos behind the scenes on match days or just in normal days. We've been filming some stuff today as well. So here's a closer look at what you can expect on UV Raw if you're a member of the UV Members Club. Check it out. Bring in another striker. You're also looking at the Frankie de Jong position if that deal could happen. Yeah. Josh, what was that?
It was a disgrace.
What was that?
What was that?
Explain to the viewers my morning so far.
You was on Sky.
I was on Sky, yeah. And I was panicking and I was concerned because they said they were going to call me at 9, and Josh showed up at 5 to 9. They did not call me till 10 past. Exactly. And we were ready for 9. We were ready for 9.
There you go. Yeah, so I was pre-liable. I already set everything up like 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about Sky and their echo chamber. Yeah.
And
Owen, tell the people about Sky's echo chamber.
Wow, I was just on Sky, and I could barely hear anything. I was talking about Terrell Malacia and Lisandro Martinez, and I could hear myself talking about Lisandro Martinez and Terrell Malacia. It was horrible.
Yeah?
Yes.
You're a disgrace. Yes. You're a cheat. Don't anyone ever tell me about technicals, fam.
Very much. It's been absolutely England down for the last hour or so. So we made our way inside. So hotel football to the roof. So walking on around this room down. Over Old Trafford, did you see? Is this the other usual match?
No, there's a lot riding on this. But one of these and off the grass. So it's going to be a brilliant day today, regardless of what happens on the pitch. There's so much going on within absolutely. Being able to both one is or being able to come outside.
So it's been absolutely pedaling down outside.
It's great when it's not me doing it.
And the main Netflix
appreciate the hard work of the cameraman settings fan, yeah? Like doing autograph settings. I say autograph, it's never an autograph. Selfie settings. We don't live in 1999 anymore, yeah?
So there you go, a sneak peek, or a sneak, is that a sneak peek? Well, it's a closer look. It's a closer look at what you can see on episodes of UV Raw. Of course, as I mentioned, they're exclusive to members of the UV Members Club, so be sure to check that out. Link in the video description, also the pinned comment in the live chat, and you get a closer look behind the scenes. It's a lot of fun as well. What are you guys saying as well? I saw something saying from Mighty Mouse, I'm fuming Garner will be sold, get McTominay and Fred out for F's sake. I did see that. The latest is, I believe, Romano said that Everton are seemingly leading the race to sign James Garner. I think a fee has already been agreed. I believe it's between 15 and 20 million pounds. Again, as I spoke about this morning, me and Flex did talk about this briefly. I'm surprised. I mean, I still am surprised we're letting Garner go. I would prefer a loan deal. I think the expectation this season was that he might not play for United, but if he did go, it'd be on loan. So the fact that we're here talking about him now going to Everton for 15 or 20 million, granted, I'm happy United are getting sales, but why is he going? Because we've signed Casemiro and Eriksen, and does it really fit the United ethos of signing two high-profile players that, you know, push out an academy graduate? I don't know how comfortable I feel about that. And look, James Garner may never have been good enough for Manchester United to play in the first team, but I feel like that decision should have been made after a season of first-team football in the Premier League on loan at a Forest, at an Everton, at a West Ham, at a Leicester or something like that, and then make that judgment. It feels a bit too rash for me. I hope there's a buyback. I doubt there is, but he didn't really even get a chance to prove himself in a match. I mean, I guess Ten Hag took a look at him in training and said no, which is a shame. It really is a shame. But back to the press conference. Let's get back to the questions asked to Erik Ten Hag. The follow-up question regarding the signing of Antony, it said, where does this leave Cristiano Ronaldo with Antony incoming? Is he still part of your plans? And Ten Hag said, quote, it is clear. We need quality players. You need more players to cover all the games and to keep the consistency going. Regarding Ronaldo, he said, of course. And if anything, he was kind of, I won't say frustrated, but he kind of just said, look, I just said this. He went, I just said, like, we need players. We need players for all of these games. We've got a ton of games this season, and we've got, again, 3 games a week. We need as many players as possible. Specifically, I just outlined in those offensive positions, in that offensive department, we need players. So, of course, we need Cristiano Ronaldo, and it would appear, right, guys, with 24 hours left, I spoke about this morning on Sky, that, you know, again, in an ideal world, Ronaldo, in his mind, would be at another club right now, a Champions League club, but there just aren't the offers on the table. There aren't the offers on the table. United now don't have the time to get a replacement, and it just looks like it's not going to happen. I mean, ideally, the best move for all parties would be that Ronaldo would go to Napoli and we'd get Osimhen or someone like that. We get a replacement, but we can't, and we shouldn't cut our nose off to spite our face at this point in time as well. We shouldn't sell Cristiano Ronaldo with no replacement just because, you know, the player wants to go. We still do have to protect Manchester United, not the commercial interest, the football interest on the pitch. We will still need Cristiano Ronaldo this season. And it's wild to think that Ronaldo, Cristiano effing Ronaldo, is going to be a rotational option and playing in the Europa League. But that's the circumstances that we're going to have to see. And it is kind of crazy. It does absolutely feel crazy. The next question was, you mentioned that might be it when it comes to transfer incomings in this window. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka still part of the plans? Of course, there's been links to Serginho Dest. And Ten Hag said, quote, of course, Aaron will stay in. So this squad, we will go from September to minimum January, but we will play with this squad this season. So effectively, Erik Ten Hag is saying there that Wan-Bissaka is in his plans. Wan-Bissaka will stay. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not going anywhere. Aaron Wan-Bissaka will still be a Manchester United player until January at the minimum. So the discussions about Serginho Dest, I guess, now look unlikely. I did see something from Fabrizio Romano before I went live saying that I believe Villarreal have now put a proposal to Serginho Dest, possibly a loan deal. And from his perspective, that might be an interesting option. Stays in Spain, play in the same league as Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona just wanted him to get La Liga experience, get more used to playing in Spain, even though he did play a lot of first-team football for Barcelona last season. I don't know. I don't know. That whole Serginho Dest deal does really hinge on, can Manchester United get Aaron Wan-Bissaka out the door? And unlike, say, the Ronaldo situation, there are clubs open or interested in signing Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've heard them before. Crystal Palace being obviously the big one, but also West Ham. If they can, I think the way the United are looking at this now, I think they're looking at it as if we can get an agreement for Dest, we can then accelerate that Palace part of it or the West Ham part of it. But it feels like as time runs out, and you have to remember too, there is a match tomorrow, so a lot of the focus at the club is going to be on that game. Now, that's not to say that Richard Arnold and John Murtough can't work in the background. They still should be. And as Erik ten Hag said, if something becomes available, then maybe that's a possibility. But I think it's unlikely now. I think it's unlikely now that any other player that isn't Anthony or Martin Dubravka gets announced by Manchester United. But again, you never know. You never know. The transfer window is crazy, and the transfer deadline date is also crazy as well. Speaking of the game tomorrow, the next question was, of course, the last 2 games you used the same starting 11, the same players. Is that because you've seen a change in attitude and a change in commitment? Ten Hag said, quote, "I see it as a start. We have a good base. This is the minimum of what we have to bring. I was happy to see the turn, and we have to keep that. To keep the spirit and winning mentality, because you need it if you want to have a successful season." And it does, I guess, kind of pose the question, what starting 11 do you expect to see tomorrow against Leicester? Do you expect, once again, Erik ten Hag to name an unchanged starting 11? Or are we going to see some changes? For me, I would expect to see Casemiro start instead of Scott McTominay. But the interesting part of this is that in an ideal world, Ten Hag would name the same starting 11. Maybe that changed, as I just mentioned, the Casemiro for McTominay. But we've also then got a game just, 3 days later against Arsenal, in the Premier League. And certainly you could argue our toughest opponent this season. I know we played Liverpool, but it wasn't Liverpool at their best. It was Liverpool with a lot of injuries. This is an Arsenal that are massively in form at the moment. Arsenal that they're going to go the whole season unbeaten, right? Yes. This is their first time they've played a big club this season, so they're going to be up for it as well. And I do almost expect a little bit of rotation. Ten Hag did kind of hint at it, that we're going to need it this season, and maybe we are going to see 2 or 3 changes with a mind looking forward, or with an eye rather looking forward to that game against Arsenal at Old Trafford at the weekend. So I would expect Casemiro to start, but other possibilities, again, we're light. We are light. I don't know, because I don't want. The thing is, I don't want to touch that back 4. I don't want to touch that back 4, and I don't think we should. But then you have to ask, the physical demands of Malacia and Dalot playing 2 games in sort of 4-ish days, or 3 days rather. That's going to be difficult for them. So do we see, say, Luke Shaw start for Terrell Malacia? I don't expect Wan-Bissaka to start, but I would hope the centre-backs remain the same. But I think we could see 2 or 3 changes, possibly. And maybe we see Cristiano Ronaldo start. Maybe that is the perfect game for Ronaldo, because then you put, Rashford on the bench, and you can bring him on, or something of that nature. I think we might see a couple of changes, a couple of tweaks, possibly. And then we go back to that stronger starting 11, our strongest starting 11 against Arsenal on Sunday, possibly with a debuting Anthony for Anthony Elanga in that role. I think that might be the right place for it. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat there. Steffi Jenks says Phelan needs to make his presence felt. And also putting the Phelan emojis. There they are, the Phelan emojis, because the likes aren't liking. That's why. There you go. Steffi Jenks says over 500 watching, not even 200 likes. Wow. You can hear him. The Jaws music will start playing soon. The dun dun dun. Dun, 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 and then he just appears out of nowhere. And you don't want to make him mad, okay? I know there's a lot of She-Hulk going on at the moment, but you've got to watch out for Feel Hulk. I think that works. Yeah? Feel Hulk. He can get green and he can get angry. You don't want to make him angry. And that's what happens if the likes don't like, To the game tomorrow, when it comes to the team news, he was asked about Victor Lindelof and Anthony Martial, of course. They both missed out the game against Southampton through injury. Ten Hag said, quote, Victor Lindelof is training with the team, and we will see today how far he is, because he was out for 3 weeks. Anthony Martial is not available. And that is a concern, isn't it? That is the concern, because when Anthony Martial was ruled out of the game against Southampton, Erik ten Hag said, well, I hope to have him back for the next game. He's not back for the next game. Now, I know the next game was, that was Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That was 5 days ago. He's still not back. And this was the concern about Achilles injuries is... And he was quite non-committal when he spoke about that Achilles injury in the first place, wasn't he? He said, well, I don't really know too much about it. I can't give a prognosis. I hope he's back for the next game. The details have been quite vague around him. And I'm not suggesting that he's got this terrible, really, really bad Achilles injury, but they can be bad. And it could be worse than we think. I don't know. I'm speculating here. Maybe I shouldn't. But certainly that is a concern, and once again, as you can hear the sirens there, that's the ambulance. That's Martial's ambulance. It's going to be fine, Anthony. You'll be okay. Hopefully you'll be back for the game against Arsenal. But that's another game. That's the 5th game of the season. He would have still played only 45 minutes. We're talking about, needing players and having consistency in starting 11. And Ten Hag spoke about we need more players in starting lineups. It's an issue. And that's the problem with Anthony Martial. So that's why we need Cristiano Ronaldo, because we don't have bodies in that role. Now, speaking of the starting 11 at the weekend, tomorrow against Leicester on Thursday, and I guess for the weekend too. One person that I hope does start, and I guess that sort of siren that works well for him, is Rafael Varane. Now, Varane has played excellently, partnering Lisandro Martinez at centre-back. And on yesterday's Flex and KG show, KG had an apology. He said, I've got to apologise. He said some things about Flex's son, and he feels that he needs to apologise. And hopefully Varane starts tomorrow. Hopefully he starts on Sunday too. But let's have a closer look at KG's apology. I think this is touching stuff. Let's have a look.
Josh, I need apology music. Flex, I just want to say, I spoke about your son out of turn. I truly, desperately apologize. I didn't know we're talking about Champions League Varane. Yes, he's in the Europa, but this guy's talented. Again, we talked about him being a classic car. We're talking about, it's not even a classic car anymore. We're talking about, when Rolls Royces do the upgraded thing, the Phantom, the Ghost. Yeah, he's that.
Phantom.
The Phantom.
The Ghost.
Is there another one?
The Wraith.
He's the Wraith. Wrap around the Wraith. Yeah, it's different. It's a luxury car, bro. Yeah, it's a luxury car. You don't really drive it off license. You don't really take it to them places. But if you just gotta get there, he can get you there very nicely. It's a wonderful play.
If you haven't watched that whole episode, the Flex and KG show is back. It made its long anticipated and awaited return yesterday. It's still on the channel. It's great to have those two back together, right? It's been like over a month or something like that since the last time they did the Flex and KG show. It might have actually been on tour. It really might have been on tour. So unbelievable, amazing stuff. So be sure to check that out on the channel. Let's get back to the press conference. One of the final questions that Ten Hag was asked was about the Antony deal, asking how long it will take. And Ten Hag said, no, I don't know. I don't know. He was asked, do you hope he's available for the weekend? And this was quite funny when he said, well, I hope he's available for the weekend, because he went, well, the window's shut by then. So the deal kind of has to be done by then. So the hope is that Antony will be available at the weekend. I don't know if he's going to start. I hope he does. I guess it depends on training. It depends on how quickly he can integrate into the squad. Look, he knows the Ten Hag system, so it's not as if he has to get up to speed with how Ten Hag wants his teams to play. In terms of pre-season, he had a full pre-season. He played actually Ajax's opening game of the season as well, didn't he? Against Groningen, I think it's how you pronounce that. And he scored, didn't he, as well? But since then, of course, he wasn't fully training. He was reporting to the training ground whilst he was kind of on strike and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if he's fully going to be involved against Arsenal. I would expect him, honestly, to be on the bench. But if he starts, I would like to see it. Finally, Ten Hag was asked about Leicester. obviously, Leicester, I mean, if you're not fully aware, if you only focus, say, on like United matters and you haven't been focusing on Leicester matters, all that kind of stuff, they have had a horrific start to the season. And not just that, they've had a horrific transfer window as well. Truly, it's been a terrible transfer window and a terrible start to the season. 1 point out of the opening possible 12 for Leicester, bottom of the league, a draw to start the season, and then 3 consecutive defeats. It ain't going well for Brendan Rodgers and Leicester. On top of that, they haven't bought anyone. They've made one signing this summer, a free transfer, Alex Smithies from Huddersfield on loan. That's it. A third choice goalkeeper. They've had nothing. Absolutely nothing. So arguably you would say it's the perfect time for Manchester United to play them. Ten Hag was asked about this and said, how weary are you of a possible reaction from them to their poor start? Ten Hag said, quote, I've seen a couple of games and we also knew from the last seasons how good they are, and I think you can also see that in the games they've played to now. Their identity is really good to see. They play really good football, so we have to be really good to get a result there. And and it is true. I mean, Leicester, again, they've had a horrible start to the season and their transfer window has been absolutely horrible. And look, now is the time for Manchester United to be absolutely ruthless when it comes to playing Leicester. The King Power is going to be on edge. If we get an early goal, that atmosphere will become toxic. Brendan Rodgers is on a ton of pressure anyway. It's the perfect time. In the last few seasons, going to the King Power has always been a difficult game. Last season, we got walloped there, didn't we? We were rubbish against Leicester. It was terrible. Was that when it was like 4-1 or something? So yeah, not good. Not good at all. And historically, our record has actually not been amazing at the King Power. So it's the perfect time to play Leicester. But irrespective of that, it's still Manchester United coming into town. It's still for them one of the biggest games of the season, and then they might see it as this is the perfect opportunity to really turn their fortunes around. Manchester United are still fragile despite the back-to-back wins. We are still fragile. That opening goal is going to be really, really important, but I think we're in a good position. I do, but we'll have to wait and see. Des says, in all fairness, they were very unlucky against Chelsea when they played. But even so, I mean, they had the red card for Chelsea, and they still, it still didn't work out for them, did it? So it'll be an interesting one nevertheless. But of course, we will be live tomorrow for the match view to cover all that. We'll be live in the morning once again too. We've got everything covered here at United View. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As I mentioned, you can join the UV Members Club by clicking the link in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. Also, you can nominate us for the Football Content Awards. All of the links are in the video description for that. You can go to the respective Instagram pages and tag us there at United View TV. If you do that, that's also a way of nominating us for those specific categories. So if you want to do it via Instagram, you can do it like that, or you can go to the website. I believe it's footballcontentawards.com/voting, something like that. The link's in the video description. You can nominate us for any category you wish, and there's sort of 2 stages of it. There's the nomination phase, and then you get whittled down to the finalist stage. So even if we could be nominated, even if we could make it to that stage of just being in that conversation, that would be amazing. We are just really just a baby. We are really a baby. So if we can just be that would be a victory for us. It really would. Anyway, guys, have a great Wednesday afternoon, and I'll speak for you again very soon. Peace.